So, Leeds United won 2-0 yesterday, but the interesting thing is you wouldn't know it. If you were to read the fan discourse online and see what people were saying about the style of play and the fact that we weren't clinical enough and the fact that we still apparently want to get the manager out, you'd think that we lost against Cardiff 2-1 or something like that, with them also having gotten a red card. But that didn't happen in the slightest. We won the match yesterday, and fans are still sort of losing their head. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to discuss what happened in the match, what fans are saying, and ultimately try and combine these two things that seem diametrically opposed to each other, work out the link between them, and ultimately why that link between them doesn't necessarily make sense. So the main critique that people are having at the minute is the style of play. The fact that we are playing relatively slow stuff, the fact that it's fairly risk-averse, the fact that it isn't gung-ho and going for it, and we're against a 10-man Cardiff. We shouldn't just be winning 2-0. Which might be a fair argument, because it depends on what you're looking at from your football. Are you looking to be entertained and wowed and just having the best possible spectacle, or are you looking for Leeds United to get results? And this is what I think the issue is at the minute. It's a question of getting the secure 3 points and making sure that you've got them, and fantastic, brilliant, we're all good. Or is it stylistic stuff? There was a match that I compared it to yesterday when I was on the post-match show for Joe Wayman, Just Joe Football Show. And I compared it with a match that happened in Marcelo Bielsa's first season at Leeds United, in which we played bottom of the table Wigan, who had 10 men. We went up shortly after that, and then we played the expansive, fun football, and then Wigan came back and scored 2 goals. And we lost that game 2-1. By comparison, in this match, we went 1-0 up against 10 men, and then played a match style in which we were just saying, okay, we'll shut it down. Hold the ball, make sure that there aren't any gaps in our defences. At the end of the day, we conceded 3 shots. I think 3. 3 on target, I think. 2 of which came after we scored our second goal. Which ain't bad. That's not a bad position to be in the slightest. And Ilan Meslier dealt with all of them very respectably. Well done. But that meant that we weren't open to those opportunities. That meant that we weren't sliced wide open. Yes, it might have looked boring, but we got the 3 points. And I feel like if we're in a 1-0 position and we play gung-ho stuff and we go for it, then we end up losing that match 2-1. Everyone loses their heads and demands that Daniel Farke loses his job. Which I think is the situation that we are in right now. We're in a spot where getting results isn't perceived as being good enough, but at the same time, if you go for that fun style stuff that is by its very nature a significantly riskier way of playing football, then if you lose as a manager, you might be ending up losing your job, because everyone would be demanding heads in that case. And that is the position that I think we're in. I think, yes, it would be nice to see more risky stuff, but after what we saw last season, where we ended up not getting promoted, I would really, really like us to play sensible. I think that's why we didn't see subs either, because we were just in control of the game. They didn't do anything. We were in a spot where we just sort of had all of the ball, and why would you make any changes and bring on someone that isn't necessarily with it and sort of match sharp, when if they give the ball away, we end up losing the match? And yes, it's very risk averse. I understand that, and it's not fun, but it's effective. And to address an earlier argument where people were saying they're bottom of the table, we should be winning more than 2-0, we need to talk about missed chances. I'm just looking through a timeline of what happened in the game here. And you've got Laji's goal. Brilliant. Fantastic. 15 minutes after that, Laji Ramazani, with a better sort of pre-shot chance, fails to score. Which is a shame, admittedly. It's good goalkeeping. He stood him up pretty well and made sure that he's left his leg in the right place. But that's a missed opportunity, and that makes it 2-0 going into the half, and we are feeling a lot more comfortable. Immediately after half-time, you need to look at the ball that fired across from Jayden Bogle. Brendan Aronson in the box, 2 yards out, 3 yards out, hits him, goes wide. I don't know how, but it's still gone wide. 67th minute, Pascal Strouk takes a penalty down the middle. I've got to admit, if I'm taking a penalty, I'm also probably putting it down the middle because the goalkeeper's going to dive. But hit it harder, loft it a bit. Bad penalty. But that's another one that should have arguably been a goal. And then there's Peru's finish. So you're looking at those and you're coming out of it thinking, well, we played exactly the same stylistically. And I think on another day, we win that game 5-0. If we win 5-0, are people really coming out of it going, style of play was a bit shit, though? Or are they looking at the scoreline thinking, that's really good? Because the only thing that a manager can do is send players out there to create the chances that they create. He can't personally run on the pitch and put the ball in the back of the net. He can't move Brendan Aronson's foot to a different angle so that ball goes in. That's not something that happens. He can't say, right, Pascal, I know what you're thinking of doing in this very moment, but hit it really hard the other way that the goalkeeper is going. No, he's not in control of these things. That is an issue with the players. But we're in a position where everyone seems to be saying, yeah, well, the style of play's boring, when a lot of other days we win at least 3-0, maybe 4 or 5. And that's more goals than they had shots. So I think we need to take a step back, look at things and think, we got the result. That's one thing that matters. And it's quite hard to blame a manager that has created... Let's have a very quick look at the numbers from the season so far. Okay. According to FBref, the XG we created in that match was 2.8. The XG that we have conceded in every single one of the last 5 games combined is 2.4. We created more in that one match than we've conceded in the last 5 combined. So we've got a very good system, a very secure defensive system. Because in the last 5 matches, we've also conceded once. And we create so many opportunities that we just don't realise because we're spending the time when we're not creating opportunities, looking after the ball and being safe. If they go in, are you having the same critique? Is my question. Because we had 3 more chances on a plate that should have gone in the back of the net that didn't. And I don't think you can blame a manager for that. And I don't think if it comes out 5-0, you're saying the style of play was shit. Because that's not how it works. I think at this point, if you're saying that that wasn't good enough and we need to replace the manager, you sort of need to look at yourself and think that's just the outcome that you've wanted since the very beginning. Because there is nothing in terms of evidence from that match yesterday that says, yeah, we need rid. Because that's madness. And then there's the question of what next. Because if in the next match we play against Coventry City, who are renowned as being a fairly hard team to play against, and we're playing them at home and we end up winning that 1-0, are we still going to be complaining? Because at that point, we've lost once in the first... Let's do a quick bit of counting. 7? 1 loss in 7 in the Championship. Are we still complaining? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to trying to get promoted, yeah, style of play is brilliant. We had that under Bielsa and we got promoted and it was fantastic. But we did also have these days where it looked like we didn't create much because teams were playing very low and sitting deep against us. And we had matches where we lost against 10 men to sides that get relegated. This isn't a unique Farke thing. And at the end of the day, today, we won. So it's fine. But that's the question. What next? At what point is getting the results good enough? And at what point do you say, okay, it's effective enough to ignore the style of play? Because I think we're doing basically fine. And that's why I'm very confused about this entire thing. But at the end of the day, that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like, subscribe. You could even become a channel member if you fancy. That'd be quite nice. Videos like this one you will get a little bit early. It's 99p a month. Be fantastic. Hope you enjoyed. And I will see you later. Ta-ra. It's been a while since I've done a pre-recorded video. I need to do these more. Let me know if you want me to do more pre-recorded videos by saying the word salmon in the comments. I don't know. Ta-ra.